Good morning, guys. I just want to show you guys something here, man, with the little dun. And go closer. If you can look, or if you look at the feathers, the darker shade of feathers, the quality there of the feathers, you know that feathers and a youngster, say maybe of this size, which the feathers hasn't grown fully to where the wastle is for me, it is an indication of a youngster that had a knock or maybe not the best upbringing. And then with that said, I've had in the past, I had some instances where maybe, for instance, with this nest here, with the doors on, where maybe one of the birds would either enter, exit, and then somehow the doors swing close on the nest that has youngsters. And I'm not at home, and it happened on 2 occasions. So birds were maybe left without food for 2 or 3 days. And then I revived them and tied up the doors with elastic, just to ensure that it doesn't close on the youngsters again. And they proceed with their growing up. And then I raised the birds, and that specific bird also scored. So as you've seen in previous videos, the size difference of this bird in comparison to its nestmate, you can clearly see that there is what do you call it now, a disadvantage almost for that youngster, for the dun. But I'm gonna now make these videos specifically to take us through to when this bird is gonna start racing, so that we together can experience, because I'm not the type of guy that just accepts whatever. It's actually good practice to listen to somebody that has experience in things like that. Because in the past, many people told me if a bird didn't grow up or didn't have a good upbringing, it's pointless to kill. To keep the bird, you should eliminate the bird. But then again, in my personal experience, I experienced something different. So, I mean, listening to somebody that has experience already knows out of the experience what is the best way forward. But I like just to experiment. There's always time for experiments. This is the nestmate. I just want to show you guys how they look next to each other now. So there they are now. Not fully grown, because they must still develop some body, they're still young. Not molting yet. You can see the necks are still grey, there's no shiny like adult feathers yet. But this is what they look like now. The checker and the dun, these nestmates. I don't know, I just get the feeling that the genetics is still there, based on the sire and the dam. So like I said, I from the start already, I'm keeping the little dun. So we're just gonna follow the process and see how it goes until the racing season, if the bird survives all the training and whatnot towards racing, to see if it's a bad idea to keep birds that didn't grow up or didn't have the best upbringing. And then on another note, with my 2 reserve carings that I have left, I am really struggling to decide where I'm going to ring those 2. So I have 7-Eleven here that I returned from that horrific Hope Town of this year, 2024. The dam here is one of my 2019 carbirds that has returned from what was it? I'm not sure if it was a Vryburg or if it was a Kroonstad, but I dropped my race team there, and herself and the other carbird of 2019, they returned much later from that Kroonstad. So I think they were the only 2 birds. Now I'm lying. The 2 of them, and then the blue white-flight cock were the birds that returned from there. So I need birds with resilience on the car races, taking into consideration Hope Town was a car race and it was a very horrific race. So I need birds that with the right preparation, they will prevail. So we have 7-Eleven that survived the horrific race, and it was his first year of racing, and he was on numerous occasions amongst the first 3 birds at home. Then we have this cock 6655 that is mated to the toxic hen, which is 0043. She herself, I think that was a Vryburg. It was snowing that year. I also dropped my whole race team there, but then weeks later, herself returned, and a half sister of us returned, which is no longer with me. 1703, I lost that bird eventually, again on a race. Then we have the blue white-flight cock here. I just referred to him now, with where I lost my whole race team, and then he came back much later after the race. So he's paired up now with the hen that I used to call my useless hen. Let me rather call her on a ring number. I think it's 7262, or is it now 6272? But yeah, the 2 of them are mated. The blue white-flight cock was also my first bird from Kroonstad this year, so he wants to be home. Then I have this blue cock. His ring number is 6676. He also returned from that horrific Hope Town this year. The youngsters are out there now at the moment. And he was also one of the birds that did a Kroonstad for me. Just due to work obligation, I couldn't clock the bird, but he made it home, and he's a tiny little bird. So that is some of the options for the 2 reserves. Got the youngsters here of 2822 for 1. His second round of youngsters. He was also clock bird on the Pigeon. So there's another option. Then we have that dark chicken cock there, or chicken cock with 413. 413 is the hen that I should keep in consideration when thinking of ringing birds. She was my third bird from Bloemfontein this year. She did a second place Victoria West. What else did she do? I think she was on one occasion earlier this year. She was my first bird home also in the first race. And so I just need to, I don't know, I need assistance to help me decide where I'm going to ring those two birds. What I'm trying actually now is to spread the rings wide, the cowbirds especially. To spread them wide in the sense of I want to make sure that I ring birds that are able to can take the punch. So here's the chicken. She's the bird that did a Kronstadt for me. She did her best, was a third place, Lugamka. My 2019. I do have two youngsters of hers. She's got a second set of eggs now, that I can also consider to ring a cowbird there. I was more thinking of that hen down there. I think one youngster has hatched. So, I don't know. It's a little tough to say. Two rings. Two more rings. Where am I going to ring them? There's 413 right on top. Chicken. So she's sitting with the two hens below her. The chicken and the check white flight, which was my 2019 cowbirds. So they were the birds that did the distance Kronstadt, but where I failed to time. Or in fact, I can't remember now if the two of them were in the same race as the little blue cock there. Could have been. I just need to check my race sheets because I do keep a copy. And I will be able to indicate there how many I clocked or how many returned in the race time and which arrivals were afterwards. Yeah, I'm not too sure now what I'm gonna do with regards to ringing the last two cow rings. But I'm trying to ring one cowbird per nest just to have a widespread range of cowbirds, because you never know which birds is going to perform, because it's a gamble. It's a 50-50. The bird is gonna be good or not. So that's why for this year specifically, I'm trying to spread the rings amongst different pairs. But however pairs that I know that can take hard races and the distance. So at least for now, there she is, 282263, the Union winner with that cock, and the mother of that cock is one of the birds that I referred to earlier, which I lost on the Kroonstad and arrived back here weeks after, maybe months after the Kroonstad race. So birds that want to be at home, and there's the youngsters. And in the previous video I showed where I rang the other reserve rings in the little loft. So that was also spread amongst two nests there, of which both I know they can handle the distance, at least from 282241. He's a son there from the little loft, or offspring of the little loft, the 1085 cock. So there I know I have a bird that can handle the distance in him. Yeah, the cock here is that cock, and he's the son of that bird, this checker. But there was one occasion where he was amongst the first arrivals, but nothing worth mentioning at this stage, because he did the Bloemfontein and you can still see he's wearing his rubber, and he was a late arrival where I didn't bother to clock. So, but I made it him. He's up with this hen, and this hen comes from my million in the little loft, Tinkerbell, and she has proven herself already. So I don't know yet. Then we also have 185. Might do this chick bite. The chick bite's brother won a race for me, but it was a short distance in hot weather. Maybe I can consider them. I don't know. I'll have to carefully look at all the birds and see which ones did the hardest or harshest of conditions and made it back. Just want birds with that type of genetics that wants to be home. This little blue cock is actually mated to a daughter of 185 and this hen. This hen actually also did the Bloemfontein for me, and she was also a late arrival. But then 185 on the other hand, he was the third bird back from Kroonstad. So that is my options. I don't know. I'm gonna somehow have to use some type of a sign to make the decision where I'm going to ring the other birds. It's gonna be a tough one, but I'll see. Here's also in also showing resemblance, I don't know. Alright guys, I'm out.